Hi my peeps, welcome back to Nana Diaries, your space for real talk, reflections and motivation for real everyday living. It's been some time. Hey, I'm still trying to get to know this thing. I'm still trying to get things together, but it is a bit hard for me, but I'm getting there. So I thought, let me drop something while I wait, because for now all I can do is to just record myself and then post. I've got content for days. I would love to travel with you. I've taken videos, but I need to string them together into one thing. That is proving hard for me, but I'm still learning. If you know a better way of doing things, please drop in the comment section. Let's help each other. Help me know how I can get to do this, to put a video together, like 3 or 4 videos together, voiceover and that sort of thing. Digital content creation is new to me. I've been in the advertising space, but old school. So today I thought, let me talk about leaving the country, why I left the country, why people tend to leave the country, and would they even come back. So mostly I'll talk about myself, because I know more about myself than anyone else. So why did I leave the country? You know, things were getting bad in Zimbabwe. Life was starting to get tough. I had a job, my spouse was working, but things were starting to get tough. You know, that time when even if you had money, you could not buy anything because there was nothing in the shops. And at the same time, things were rising up. I remember I wanted my son to go to a particular school. The school fees was reasonable, we could afford it. And then when it came to us now, they had a meeting at the school, like at the beginning of the year, before schools opened. Parents had to come for the meeting, and I went. And imagine, the school fees had gone up, I don't know what to call it, but it went up from 4,000 to 14,000. And obviously that was a lot. We couldn't afford it at all. And yeah, the inflation was just too much. The salaries were not going up. I wanted to go. My spouse did not want to go. He felt that things would get better. He felt that if he got a promotion at work, he would get better salaries. But the salaries were becoming like, we just couldn't afford it. It was just too much. We couldn't. And I could see that we already had a relative, his relative, who was out of the country. So he used to make it easy for us. You'd bring us groceries, you'd send us stuff. But I'm personally someone who doesn't really like receiving it. Not that it's in bad faith, but I like to work for myself. I like to earn my living. I don't like handouts. And yeah, so for me, I wanted to work. So I spoke to this relative and said, you know what, I want to come. I want to look for a job either in South Africa or in Botswana. First of all, I had a friend who was already in South Africa, but I didn't tell her that I was coming to look for a job. I just told her that I want to come. And my mom had just passed on, and I was feeling very low. So she said to me, you know what, every time I call you, you cry, even when you are at work. Don't you think it would be better if you came for a visit, maybe, I just take you out and stuff like that. This is a childhood friend from when we were kids. She managed to go out of the country when she was very young. Straight after school, she went out. So she had come back, but she didn't come back to Zimbabwe. She came back to South Africa. She was headhunted from overseas to come to South Africa, and she was working for a very big corporate firm. So she said, yeah, let me get you a visa. So she did all the letters which she needed to do, and I applied for the visa. And then the visa came out. I was so excited. I thought, wow, Now at least I can go to look for a job. And how I managed to go was that she asked my husband. She actually phoned my husband and said, look, I would love for my friend to come. She cries a lot. She still misses her mom. Can you just give her time to come and spend a month with me? So my husband had said, no problem, she can come. You don't even have to ask me. She could have told me herself. But I knew that if I had said it, he would have found a way to stop me. So yeah, so anyway, I phoned my friend. I was excited. I said, the visa is out, so I'm coming. And then she says, oh my gosh, Liz, I'm at the airport. We're going to India. There was a wedding in India of a friend. So she was telling me, as we speak, I am at the airport. And I said, but I wanted to come look for, and she said, I want you to come in December. So, companies will have closed down. We'll be able to shop around for clothes and whatever. I said, but I wanted to come and look for a job. This was in October. And she says, but why didn't you tell me? I can't stop the process now. I'm just going to India for a month. So I said, okay, fine. It's okay. Maybe I'll come next year, because it was a 6-month visa. So I was so resolved, because it takes courage, eh? You keep on thinking, should I do this? And you talk to other people and you're scared. It's not easy. So I just thought, no, I'm going to Botswana. If I can go to South Africa, I'm going to go to Botswana. So my husband's relative was in Botswana. I didn't tell him I was coming. I just got on the bus, went to Botswana, got to Botswana around 10 in the morning. And I didn't have cell phones were not much that time. So I didn't have a cell phone. But in Botswana, there were this you could actually, at the bus rank, you could actually get to phone for a puller, one puller. So I got there, tried to call him. He had a cell phone. And he kept on saying, the number you have dialed is not available at the moment. And I'm thinking, what's going on? I just sat there. After an hour, I tried again. Guys, if you knew, I spent the whole day sitting at the bus rank in Francistown. And back then, it was so bad. It was just dust, The buses would just come. It was not paved or anything. But I was so scared. I almost got back into the next bus to go back to Bulawayo. But I just thought, let me wait. When it was now 4 o'clock, I started talking to these women, the white garment women. They call them Mazezuru, this side. So they said, you know what, you can actually get a place to stay, and you can pay 2 pula, and you can sleep for a night, but it will be many of you sleeping together in a house. Then I thought, let me phone home. So I phoned my house. We were living in Wange at that time. I phoned my house. My daughter answered, and yeah, we're just chatting. And then the dad came in and said, who are you talking to? And she said, I'm talking to mom. And then, oh, by the way, I told my husband I'm going to South Africa. I didn't tell him that I'm now going to look for a job in Botswana. He would have definitely stopped me. So I just told him I'm going to South Africa. So he answers the phone. He says, yeah, what's up? Where are you? I said, I'm in Botswana. I'm in Francistown. I'm trying to phone this relative, and he's not picking up. And right there, World War I started. What are you doing in Botswana? I thought you said you were going to South Africa. What is going on? I don't understand. I said, yeah, no, I am going to South Africa. I'm meeting my friend in Gaborone, and we are going to go together because I was trying to save money. He said, you ain't trying to save money. What's wrong with you? Why couldn't you have just gone all the way? I said, I'm sorry, but now I'm stranded. What do I do? And then he says, okay, wait. Phone me again after 10 minutes. So yeah, he phoned some friends of the relative, and they told him that the relative had gone to Bulawayo for the day, but he was coming back. But at home, his daughter was there, and his girlfriend was there. So my husband phoned the girlfriend. We knew the girlfriend because he had come with a girlfriend to Zimbabwe to visit. So the girlfriend came to pick me up, and yeah, I went home. I was so relieved. And then he came at night, and my guru, what's happening? I said, you know what, Baba, we cannot really rely on you all the time. Me, I'm thinking it's better if I look for a job, because so that at least it will be easier for you. I mean, you are still single, but one day you will get married. I don't know any woman who will agree for you to be like spending money on groceries for your house and your relative's house. So yeah, he understood, and he said, okay, but this place, Francistown, is not where you can look for a job. So I'm going tomorrow. We are going to Gaborone. I'll be dropping my partner back in Gaborone. They were going for something and coming back. So he had talked to the partner, and the partner had agreed that I would go and stay at her place and look for a job. So yeah, we did that. We went to Gaborone. They were going for some seminar. And yeah, I also went for that seminar. It was great. Guys, you know, you're coming from Zimbabwe where things are just going down, and you're coming into this place where people are nicely dressed. They look very well. Everything is fine. So yeah, I was already impressed. And then they left me. That same night they went back. They left me at her place, and yeah, I stayed there. Morning, I did not even know where to start looking for a job. What I had were application letters. I'd done my application letters, you know, everything was there, and a CV. So I had about 50 application letters with a CV inside. So first day I went, this place was Broadest. For people who know Gaborone, Broadest, there was what was that? It was BBS. So I thought, maybe that's the town. So I went there and I started looking for a job. I said, where are the offices? They said upstairs, because it was really like people were just selling stuff, you know. But I thought, well, I have to start somewhere. And then someone told me, why don't you go to Commerce Park? That's where all the offices are. I said, where's Commerce Park? They told me the combi to catch and then go. So I thought, it was already late afternoon, and if you know Gaborone, it's very hot. So I went back home, ate, and I slept. And then the next morning, early morning, I caught the combi and went to Commerce Park. I was just dropping CVs. I said to myself, I'll drop 10 CVs a day, application plus CV. So I went, dropped 10, and then went back home. Second day, I found another area where I could go again. I went and I dropped 10. Third day, another part, I went and I dropped 10. Fourth day, I got a call from Francistown. My relative was saying there was a possibility of a job in Francistown, so I must come. So I said, okay, fine. So I caught the bus on a Friday, went back to Francistown, got there, there wasn't a job really. So I decided, since I had 90 application letters with CVs. Let me just start applying in Francistown. So I went to the industrial area. I was dropping CVs everywhere. CV, application letter, CV, application letter. And then again on the Wednesday, I was like, I don't think I'm going to get a job. I was talking to my relative in the evening. I would go with him in the morning, and I would spend the day just dropping CVs, and then around lunchtime when he's going back home for lunch, he would drop me home. So on this particular day, he was not coming back home. He used to, sometimes he wouldn't come home for lunch. So when I got to the house, the maid told me that someone had phoned him. I had put his cell number as a contact. So I was told that someone had phoned and had been given the landline number. So I mustn't go out again. I must just wait until that person phones. That was like now on a Thursday. So I waited for the call, and the call came, and it was a woman. It was a white woman, and she said, look, I received your CV, I found your CV in my office, and I am interested, but for next year, can you sell? I said, ma'am, I can sell you sand in the Kalahari. And she laughed, and it was a joke. We laughed, and then she said, oh, okay, but what are you going to do about a permit? I said, don't worry, ma'am, it's not a problem at all. And then she says, okay then, so what do you need from me? And then I said, okay, let me let you know tomorrow. And she said, okay then, hope to see you next year. And that was that. I was so excited. I was jumping up and down. When my relative came, I said, you know what, I got a job to start in January. And and then he was, oh really? Oh, you're so fortunate to get a job. And then I said, by the way, what is this permit thing they're asking? She was saying, do you have a permit? But I just told her, no, don't worry, I'll get a permit. Oh, my relative burst out laughing and said, you know what, it's easier to get a job, but to get a permit is very hard. I said, no way, you can't tell me that. You can't tell me I can't get it. No. You have to do something. I negged and negged. And then he said, okay, fine. Let me go and show you to someone. I'm not sure, but I'll just, he's an agent or whatever, a consultant. So the next day we went to see this consultant with all my certificates and everything. And he said, your field is very hard to get into, because there are people already who are doing that marketing. There are people, so it will be very hard. But let me try. And then he told me how much it was. To me, it was such a lot of money, because remember, Zimbabwe money had gone down, and it was a lot of money. But I said, no ways. If I have a job, I'm just going to make sure I get the money for the permit. So I went back home. I sold my fridge. I sold 2 deep freezers back then to get the money. It still wasn't enough. And then after a month, my friend, remember my friend who had gone to India for the wedding? She was back. I phoned her. I told her I was excited. I told her, look, I got a job in Botswana. I'm still trying to raise money for the work permits and resident permit. And then she said, how much do you need? And I told her how much was left. And she sent it to my brother-in-law. It was difficult to send money to Zimbabwe back then. I don't even know if there was Mukuru or any of those things which I now hear today. So she sent the money straight to my brother-in-law. So I came back. In fact, no, I didn't have to come back. I had left everything. I just made sure my brother-in-law, I told my relative that I have the money. And I think he was going to use his money and the money from my friend, and I would have to bring the money. So that's what happened, guys. I managed to get a permit. It was what is called a waiver. It was just for 4 months. I was like, it's okay. So anyway, I came back 1st of January. I came back early, and I managed to get I got the waiver, and I went to Gaborone. And when I was coming, there was someone, in fact, there was a friend of mine who had come to Botswana before me, and she had worked in Botswana, and she was working in Botswana to save money to go to New Zealand. So she had moved to New Zealand, but she had given me contacts, people to stay with if I ever decided to come. So I phoned the lady. The lady told me stories. You know how people will tell you stories. She told me, I'm not in Gaborone. I'm actually on my way to to, I'm in Pique. I said, okay, fine. The second person was a mfundis, a pastor, who was thinking, who was going to who was going to be who looked after people. So I phoned him, and he told me that no, we are actually at the border. We are on our way to Zimbabwe. So it was so tough for me now what to do, but I can't remember. He ended up getting me someone. Just hold on, guys. Hello guys, so let's just wrap this up. It's now 2 days later because I couldn't finish up the other day. My grandson had woken up, and yeah, I couldn't finish up. So today he's gone to daycare, so I'm all alone. I just went out, so I just thought, let me wrap up this video. So where were we? So yeah, we left off when I got the permits. Yeah, it was so exciting, guys, you know, just getting the permit, because remember, I had the job already. I had to get the permit, so I got the 4 months waiver, and when I came, I was able to change it into a 3 months permit. So starting work was amazing, guys. You know, the money had so much value. I wasn't earning much, but I could do so much with it. Those were the good old days where you could just like go back, you know, to Zimbabwe, early Zimbabwe, which most of you probably don't know. But it was exciting to go back to just buy. Oh, why am I having this? Let me just mute the volume. Yeah, going back to buying stuff, clothes. I was buying clothes like crazy. I was buying clothes for myself because I went first. I didn't immediately take the family. I worked for this woman, and after 3 months, guys, you won't believe this, she said to me, Liz, you're working so hard, and I think I can actually help you get a better job with you know, more money. So she had connections in like 5 companies. So she took me to all the 5 companies. She knew the owners, and she took me to some advertising agencies as well, but I didn't want to do advertising work because I had done it before and I wanted something new. So I opted for a publishing company. At the time, it was the biggest publishing company in Botswana. So I went for an interview there. They actually asked me how much I wanted to earn. So I just doubled what I was getting from the previous company, which I'd worked for 3 months. And they said, yeah, sure, done. And you know, that was it. I signed the contract, and they said, what about children? I said, no, I don't have children with me. Accommodation, I said, no, I already have accommodation with me. You know, you're used to Zimbabwe, the way things had gone south. So I started working, and then later on, a friend of mine said, but why don't you have a company house? Why don't you have a company car? Why aren't you taking your kids to go to school here? So I was like, well, they did ask me, but I didn't know they offer those things. And nothing was put on paper. I was just asked by like the owner of the company. Not the owner, it was like the CEO of the company. So she said to me, go and ask for those things. I said, oh, okay, let me wait until I get paid. Guys, when I got paid, the money was a lot. I couldn't finish that money the whole month. And even after buying groceries to send home, even after sending money home, I couldn't finish the money. And then second month came, and the money was just too much for me. And I was now planning, let me buy myself a car. Some Zimbabwean guy had said, no, I can sell you my car for 8,000. And you remember back then in Zimbabwe, they were like crappy old cars. People were driving crappy old cars. So I was looking at this Toyota Corolla and I was thinking, yeah, sure, I can buy it cash. And that would be, my problems over. Until another friend said to me, no, you don't buy someone's problems. That's not how you buy a car here. You can actually go to the garage and buy a car. So I said, oh, okay, fine. Then I thought, okay, it was, I think Easter, I went home. And I had a good time with my kids. I told my husband, what do you think of relocating? He was not okay with that. No, this was not Easter. Easter I went home and came back. No, I don't want to go that far with the story. I think we'll just talk about the good life I had. Just getting there. That was like now my second job. I was working. I was able to, my family was able to be comfortable. And I just wanted to take them when, everything was ready for them. So I'll probably tell you about that. I don't want to make this very long. It was just about my coming to Botswana and settling down. I missed my family, I missed my children. And maybe we can just, let's just finish it, guys. So in August, I went and took the kids. They were so happy. We had such a good time. I've never seen such happiness. I was staying in what you call a 2.5 in Botswana. So it was a room, kitchen, and bathroom. So we were sharing with a friend of mine. I used the other room. She used the other room. We would share the kitchen and the bathroom. So it was quite cheap. When you're coming from Zimbabwe, you're thinking of saving money. You're not thinking of anything elegant. I was thinking, no, I need to save money and send back home, and maybe we can start building and stuff like that. That was my mindset. But when I saw what the company had to offer, I thought, why not bring my children? If my children can go to school and the company pays, why not do that? I already had a company car. So I went and said, I want to bring my children in the new year. And they said, no problem, just bring them. And I said, I also need a better house since I'm bringing my children. So no problem, just, do you want to stay in our house or you want to rent? So I said, no, I'll look for something else. And then I went and took my husband. We stayed for a bit in the room while we were looking for a proper house. And then I said to my husband, I don't have time to look for a place, so you look for a place. Didn't the guy go and look for a 4-bedroom house, all en suites? And I'm thinking, we don't need this. We don't have furniture. Why would we have such a big house? There's no, we're going to try and get our furniture from Zimbabwe. I said, no, we're not getting furniture from Zimbabwe. We're going to, have you seen how cheap furniture is? Because literally, guys, back then, you could literally go and buy furniture for the whole house on account and be paying something like 200 pull-up a month for everything, installments, for like 12 months. And that was nothing. That was nothing. And yeah, so my new life began. In the new year, my daughter came. She went to a private school. The company was paying. And the school bus would actually come to the house to collect my daughter. It was all new. It was all so amazing. Remember, things had gone down so much that we were struggling. And this was like a new life for us. It was really good. I just left my son to stay in Zimbabwe because he was now in high school, and back then our high schools were still very good. So I let my son stay in Zimbabwe until like he finished his A-levels. So yeah, that was it, guys. I hope you enjoyed listening to my story. I'm still having struggles, like I said. Please, if you know how I can put these bits and pieces together, please, in the comment section, tell me how. Sharing is caring, so please help me. I'm also trying to learn but as you can see, I'm not as tech savvy. It takes time, but I'll get there. I'm keen to learn, and I will get there. So please share, please view, watch, and please comment. Give me some suggestions, and yeah, we'll get there. They'll get better and better. I've been doing some reels, short reels. If you go to I'm on TikTok, Nana Diaries as well, and I'm on Facebook, Nana Diaries. I'm on Instagram, but on Instagram I'm still trying to get it to work. It's not fully done. So like, comment, subscribe, and have a good day. And please continue to ask your friends and your friends' friends to subscribe. Tell me what you think about these videos. Tell me what you want changed. Tell me, like I said, I've got content for days. I'm traveling at the moment. I'm in Australia. I've been to different parts of the country, and it's all fun. So that's all content, but I need to put it together in a nice professional way. So yeah, bye guys. Thank you so much for watching till the end. Goodbye.